Cleveland, wake up. The energy in Berea right now is absolutely electric, because the pads might not be on yet, but the war for our future has officially begun. We are standing at the edge of a season that could either be a glorious redemption or a total nightmare, and I am shaking just thinking about it. This isn't just another practice, it is the first day of the Todd Monken era, and the quarterback competition we have been dreaming about is finally live. We are building this tribe together, so hit subscribe, join the 3,000 strong, and comment your city. Tuesday morning changed everything for us. The sun hit the fields at the facility and all eyes were glued to two men, Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders, standing there ready to fight for the soul of this offense. You can feel the tension in the air, you can feel the weight of that $230 million contract hanging over every single throw Deshaun makes. And let us be real here, we have been through hell waiting for him to look like the superstar we traded for. The coaching staff is watching every single twitch, every single footstep, because even though it is voluntary, this is where the season is won or lost. Mary Kay Cabot is reporting that Watson has the inside edge right now, and Jeremy Fowler is saying he has hit it off with Monken. But how many times have we heard that before? This is his final chance, his absolute last stand in a Browns uniform, and the pressure must be suffocating. Imagine being in his shoes, knowing the entire city is holding its breath, waiting for you to either fly or crash and burn again. Then you look over and see Shedeur, the young gun with nothing to lose and everything to gain, just waiting for his moment to snatch the crown. Do you trust the veteran, who has been broken by injuries and controversy? Or are you ready to turn the page to the rookie who showed those flashes of brilliance last year? It is a gamble that defines the Andrew Berry era, and honestly, it makes my heart race just thinking about the risk we are taking here. Monken wants to name a starter by June 11th, which is just around the corner, so every single snap in these OTAs is like a playoff game for these guys. I want to know what you guys think, because the front office is playing a high-stakes game with our loyalty, and I am not sure if I am ready for more heartbreak or if I should finally start believing in the comeback. We have spent years in the quarterback wilderness, and watching these two battle it out under the watchful eye of a new offensive genius feels like the climax of a movie we have been watching for decades. Every pass matters, every mistake is amplified, and the atmosphere is simply explosive. But wait, it gets even crazier when you look at how the league set us up, because the schedule makers actually did us a massive favor by putting us on the road for the first 2 weeks. Think about that. We start against the Jaguars away from home, which means Watson does not have to face the heat from the dog pound right away if things go south. It gives him a tiny bit of breathing room to find his rhythm before he has to walk into Huntington Bank Field in week 3 and face the music. It is almost like they know he would be booed out of the building if he struggles. And that says everything you need to know about where his reputation stands right now. Here is the raw truth that they do not want you to focus on. Watson could be the ultimate reclamation project for Kevin Stefanski and Todd Monken, but the shadow of being the worst trade in sports history is still looming over every move we make. We saw what happened last year with the Kenny Pickett experiment failing and Joe Flacco coming in to save the day, and it makes you wonder if we are just repeating the same cycle of desperation. The trend across the league is wild. Look at Sam Darnold winning a ring or Baker Mayfield balling out in Tampa, and yet here we are, still trying to fix a broken investment. If Watson finds that old magic, Andrew Berry is already saying he might extend him, which sounds absolutely insane given the injury history, but if he fails, we are finally free. We can walk away from this nightmare and look toward a loaded draft class in 2027. It is a pivot point that could define the next decade of Browns football, and the emotional roller coaster is honestly exhausting. One minute I am convinced he is back, and the next I am just praying we do not see another season wasted by a guy who cannot stay on the field or find his groove. This is a cold and calculated business, and the Browns are walking a tightrope between total disaster and a championship window that is closing faster than we want to admit. The second story here is the redemption arc or the total disaster waiting to happen, because we have to talk about the reality of Deshaun Watson's body. The last time he finished a full season was back in 2019, back when the world was a completely different place and the schedule was only 16 games long. Since then, it has been a laundry list of disasters, from the voluntary holdout to the 11-game suspension, and then the devastating shoulder and Achilles injuries. We want to be optimistic, we want to believe the reports that he is healthy and vibing with the new system, but we cannot be that naive anymore. Even in 2024, when he was supposedly healthy before the Achilles ruptured, he was statistically the worst quarterback in the league, and that is a pill that is very hard to swallow. This is where the redemption arc of Shedeur Sanders becomes so incredibly compelling for every single person in Cleveland. He showed us those flashes during his 7 starts as a rookie, He showed us that he has the grit and the stones to lead this team when the walls are closing in. If Watson struggles on that difficult road stretch to start the year, how long is the leash really? I am telling you right now as your friend and fellow sufferer, the coaching staff is prepared for the worst even if they are saying all the right things in public. They know the history, they know the risk, and they have Sanders standing right there on the sideline like a ticking time bomb ready to go off. It is a dramatic structure that feels like a Hollywood movie, where the aging star is trying to keep his spot while the young prodigy is breathing down his neck. I am losing my mind trying to figure out which version of the Browns we are going to get, but the tension in Berea is the highest I have ever seen it. We are not just talking about winning games, we are talking about the identity of this team for the next 5 years. Sanders represents hope while Watson represents a massive debt we are still trying to pay off. It is beautiful and terrifying all at the same time. Seriously, I am losing my mind here because the depth chart is hiding some absolute secrets that only the real ones are paying attention to. We have Taylen Green, this 6'6" athletic freak that we grabbed in the 6th round, and there is no way on earth Andrew Berry lets him walk. He is the project, the emergency weapon that we are going to hide as the third quarterback because his potential is just too high to risk on the practice squad. But that leaves a massive question mark over Dillon Gabriel, and it feels like he is the odd man out, the one who is about to be voted off the island. I have a theory that Berry is already working the phones, trying to turn Gabriel into a future draft pick to add to that war chest he loves so much. If we cannot find a trade partner, we might see him cut and hopefully stashed on the practice squad. But the quarterback room is getting crowded, and there is no room for sentimental feelings. This is a business, a cold and calculated one, and the way they are handling the bottom of the roster tells you exactly how much pressure they feel to win right now. Unbelievable as it sounds, we are watching a total transformation of how this team operates, moving away from the old Stefanski way and into whatever Monken is cooking up. It is fast-paced, it is aggressive, and it is honestly a little bit terrifying because we have seen so many plans fail before. But having a guy like Taylen Green developing in the background gives me a tiny bit of hope that we are actually building for the long term instead of just throwing haymakers and hoping for a knockout. You have to love the strategy, even if it makes your stomach turn, because this is the most aggressive we have ever seen this front office regarding the most important position in sports. Every move is a chess piece being moved toward a final battle, and Gabriel being the sacrificial lamb is just part of the game. We are watching the roster evolve in real time, and the ruthlessness of it all is a sign that the honeymoon period is over. Everything we are seeing right now in OTAs points to a massive collision course with destiny for the Cleveland Browns. We are either watching the beginning of the greatest comeback story in the history of this franchise, or we are watching the slow-motion crash of a plan that was doomed from the start. I want to believe in Deshaun. I want to believe that Todd Monken is the missing piece of the puzzle. And I want to see this team dominate the AFC North like we know they can. But I also know our history, and I know that nothing is ever given to us without a fight. This is our year to prove the doubters wrong, to show the entire NFL that the Browns are not a punchline, but a powerhouse. I want to see your fire in the comments below. I want to know if you are riding with Watson, or if you are screaming for Sanders to take the field. Are we being let down again? Or is this finally the moment where everything clicks into place? We are pushing for 3,000 subscribers because this tribe needs a voice that is not afraid to tell the raw truth about what is happening in Berea. Hit that subscribe button and stand with us, because the season is coming and the dog pound needs every single one of you ready for war. We are building something special here, and I refuse to let anyone overlook what we are capable of when this city gets behind its team. I will be here every step of the way, through every practice and every game, giving you the insider look that you will not get anywhere else. This is about pride, this is about legacy, and this is about finally bringing a trophy home to the greatest fans on the face of the earth. Let me hear you in the comments, and let us get ready for the ride of a lifetime. Dog Pound.